When Heartstopper came out, I know what everyone's thinking. What lip gloss am I wearing? I know, right? It's this glittery one from Half Magic. Hi friends, my name is Frederic, and it's been a minute.
Remember me? It's been a minute.
It's been a long time coming. Now, right? This is Sushi, if you didn't know. And these are all my babies, if you didn't know. When Heartstopper came out... Wow, we're already doing the jokes. When Heartstopper was released, I did a review on it and did a follow-up on it. So if you haven't seen those, go watch them. They're up here. Season 2, or season duh, is out, and I have some opinions once again. Also, I know I've been gone. I've been doing short form videos instead. I haven't quit YouTube. I'm never gonna leave long form. I've just been busy packing up, getting ready to move. But I'm finally back. I'm in a better headspace, so I'm ready to do long videos again. However, this makeup tutorial, it's gonna stay on the short form. Unless y'all really want this, then maybe. If you haven't watched season 2, go watch it on Netflix. Watch a recap, because I'm not here to give the spark notes. We are here for the juicy discussions that gay Twitter is responsible for. But some disclaimers. 1, we will be talking about eating habits, disorders, you might say. 2, if anyone here gives me the argument that the comics were different or the comics were better, then go read the comics. I am on the side of I don't care if it's different. There's a reason it's different. 1, Netflix probably changed the plot to fit Netflix's agenda. 2, Alice can do whatever they want. And 3, it's a show. It has to be different from the book. I don't want the same thing. There's no point in doing a show if it's literally verbatim. Just go read the comics if you wanted it. I'm just gonna start off by saying I haven't forget, and I don't forgive half of you bitches for forcing Kit Connor to come out last year. I remember. I made a whole video about it. It feels like I have to constantly define queer baiting. Real people can't queer bait, okay? People can take and adopt things from queer culture and use it to their advantage, but that's not queer baiting. Queer baiting is when you say there will be a gay character in this show and there wasn't. Queer baiting is saying there will be representation of queer people and there isn't. Queer baiting is not, I repeat, someone doing fruity things that you think is associated with queer people and they're not fully out. Therefore, you're offended and you want to know the answer, like you deserve it. And I just know it. I don't blame y'all. Obviously my audience probably has some IQ in the head, but I know for a fact that there's really young queer people who probably say that, the people who fetishize them, and we'll get to that. I know it's mainly them, and also like queer people who are still in the closet and envious that other people can be out of the closet. That's a whole other thing. Deal with your problems internally. Don't blast them out on Twitter. But the fact that people will still say, isn't he a public figure? He wasn't forced to come out. You don't get an opinion on that unless you are a public figure. Unless you've received millions, and I mean millions, of comments saying things about your sexuality, rumors about it, getting ridiculed for your body type because it didn't fit what the comics were. You don't get an opinion on whether he was forced or not. And also, it is kind of forced when you're getting death threats. It's a little forced when you're like, what, 18 years old at the time he was getting these? How were you at 18? Let's see if you even get to 18. Pretend you're queer and closeted and you're back at school. And every person is telling you, you need to come out or you can't be our friend. You need to come out or you can't sit with us. And everyone around you during class is whispering and talking about your sexuality and you can hear it. How does that make you feel? Exactly. Now multiply that by 1,000. That's how he probably felt.
Ignore my hair. I'm drying it. I wanted to check in because I recently found out some things that I thought would be important to share. Also, this video was filmed 3 weeks ago before I moved. Hi, I moved. Alice Oseman, by the way, they're non-binary. I recently found out that she made a post a good years ago. That's not a sentence. A fair amount of years ago, talking about the genre of Heartstopper and how she said she doesn't consider it as yaoi or BL. If you don't know what that means, there are genres in Asian literature. Google it if you care. She said that she doesn't label them as BL, which it means boys love, because she says those genres tend to fetishize the couples. I just wanted to say, and no, if you're not Asian, you don't get an opinion, because there's nothing for you to argue on your end. This is not your culture. Genres can't fetishize. You can't personify them. That's like me saying historical fiction is never historically accurate. Fiction is so hyperbolic. Fantasy uses the same tropes. All of these you can argue. At the end of it, you would say you're reading the wrong books. Or more importantly, the authors are stupid. Yes, there is fetishization in yaoi and BL. But guess what, buddy? There's fetishization in English literature. There's fetishization on your Barnes & Noble bookshelf right now, and terribly written literature on those bookshelves. There's already such a stigma against yaoi and BL, like it took a long time for that to be taken seriously, besides people just saying it's corn. And yes, a lot of it is corn, but you know what also is corn? A lot of English literature, like since the beginning. And it's almost as if the artist drawing these scenes and the authors writing this out are the issue, not the genre. Alice, I wouldn't say you can have a right to like say anything about that, but also it literally is a boy's love, so just call it what it is. The fact that like someone believes that there's shame to call it something, like that already signifies what you feel about BL. You have a negative opinion towards it, and that's fine, you can have that. Can't stop you, you already made your opinion. More importantly, I want people to know that like I don't see Heartstopper as this trailblazer of a show. I will put Pose, RuPaul's Drag Race, and like 10 other queer shows I can name above that in terms of trailblazing. But I'm also not someone to like actively hate on a show just because it's popular. Do I like it less because it's so popular now and like people are treating it as like gay Bible? A little. That is because a lot of young cishet girls started, what do we say? Fetishizing them. They're high schoolers, by the way. Get your head out of your ass. It's not a hat. I personally, in any fandom, even in Swiftie fandom as a Swiftie, I don't like seeing people tracking down everyone's likes, comments, posts, tracking down photos and posting them online and saying like, oh my god, look how cute they are. Whenever Joe Locke and Kid Connor take a photo together or are even seen interacting, it's public. And like that happens in the Minecraft fandom too. I don't like that, because get a life, please. You're not gonna be their friend, because if they find out you did that, that's fucking weird. I don't know what you gain out of it. Like, I get a fandom will be its thing, but like, please have some common decency and respect people's privacy. I don't care how chronically online you are or how young you are, there's no excuse. And I don't like seeing MLM couples fetishized by women. There, I said what I said, because it's fucking weird. But like, to a lot of queer people, I also need y'all to like stop trying to hate on this show so much just because it's popular. I don't know what is in our brains that does this to like try to be better than other people by saying like, oh, I hate Taylor Swift because she's so popular, or I hate Heartstopper because it's so trending right now. What are you gonna get out of doing that? Come on. You know Heartstopper is popular for a good reason. It is somewhat well written. Maybe online you're seeing it being treated as the best thing ever written, and you might wish another one of your stories had better representation. Yes, I do wish other lesbian shows were rebooted instead of canceled on Netflix, but I hate to break it to you, not supporting this show will not bring back that other show that you care about. I don't know, I'm just someone who can like watch most shows without hating it too much. I watched all of Q-Force, okay? That's my baseline. And if you're envious about the fact that you're seeing queer love and you can't handle that, cope. And please deal with that on the inside. Don't post it online. Your feelings are valid, you just don't have to be public about it and ruin it for other people. Thanks. One more thing. I also see a lot of queer people trying to discredit this show and Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I will review if you want, because the authors are women. They are non-binary, to clarify. I'm not blind as a bat, okay? I get why people are gonna say that because they come off as women visually. In this society, Alice Oseman can pass as a woman. She is probably, to most strangers, seen as a woman. And because of that, because she can be perceived like that easily, most people will go to discredit it by saying, oh, it's another woman fetishizing two gay men. Well, one bisexual and one gay man. And I just have to say it, as someone who is non-binary, like, you don't want to go down that route. That route does work for like a lot of other books. Don't do it with this one, because they're non-binary. Do it with the other 1,000 novels of women fetishizing gay men. Because guess what? It's not just one genre, Alice. And if I see anyone trying to tell Asian people to get over the fact that she said that, no. And I'm not sorry. They can be offended for as long as they care. I doubt she holds those same beliefs, because like, I assume you mature after those years. But yes, one comment like that can ruin the show for someone, and that is perfectly valid. And I do not blame you if you don't like the show because of that. That being said, let's talk about season 2 now. Obviously, Charlie and Nick are together now, and I love the fact that it first opens up with a parallel of what season 1 opened with. In the first season, it was kind of like gloomy. Color grading was a little darker, a little more grungy blue. This time, suddenly the sun exists in the UK. Wow, love that. They got more budget for lights. In both seasons, Charlie is walking to their lover, but this time it's actually their lover and not stupid ass Ben. And I can say that because the actor himself hates Ben. They still do the hi, hey, whatever, and each time it makes me want to further jump off a bridge. I got 3 bullets ready. 2 are for them, 1's for me. I'm kidding, I love queer love. Doesn't make it feel like I got my heart ripped out of my chest and Nick and Charlie are just stepping on it a little. But I'm not someone who's gonna say like, I hate seeing that, because I don't have that. But I also know that a lot of people are saying that.
Listen, if you're in high school, it is okay to feel jealous. It is okay to feel envy. Those are normal human being feelings. What's not okay is projecting it onto other people that have done nothing to you. So what I recommend is look inwards and heal that part of yourself by, like, I don't know, therapy works. The first step is recognizing that you are being a tiny bit of a bitch and trying to tell yourself you are deserving of love, you will get it, and also this is a show. Take it with a grain of salt. This show is very, very queer. Like 95% of the people are on the spectrum. I don't even think that's an exaggeration anymore. 95% of the world is not queer, at least for now. So yeah, it's a little bit fantasy, and why not? Okay, if all the shows that we already watched that are based in high school have majority straight people, why can't we have queer people? Why can't the minority be one little ally? That is Imogen. Actually, maybe not. You find out later. So please, can we let this show like exist? There are already so many homophobic people who don't want this show to exist. The fact that queer people themselves don't want it either because it doesn't imitate reality is a little stupid, because you already live the reality.
Did I lie? Did I fucking lie?
And there are also plenty of shows where there is queer trauma. And to that I say, why do queer people have to go through trauma for it to be valid? Seriously though, why do you feel like unless this person has a homophobic dad and gets kicked out of the house and gets called, they're not queer? No one has the same experience. I know plenty of queer people who had good fathers, good parents, a nice environment. I love that for them. You should love that for people. We want this to be a reality. Repeat what I say. Trauma shouldn't have to be a requirement. I thought the goal was to stop that. I've seen people say they can't relate to it because it's just like too much happiness. That's fine. You will relate to it someday, but don't let that from preventing other people from having hope and like some optimism in life. Because if you're living what you say is the trauma and the reality every day, I don't think you want to watch that. Why would I want to watch what I'm witnessing? If I just got cursed at by my father, I'm not gonna walk upstairs, proceed to watch a show where a father curses at their child. Queer. I did not mean to grab that cup today. Any cup to choose from, I chose that. Love Starbucks, even though they got rid of their pride flags this month. I also want to bring up this one video. Don't send hate, please. Like, come on, be for real. I'm using it as an example because they chose to put it publicly.
We hate Heartstopper as a gay couple, so we're gonna talk about why.
Okay, so it's not to be the one that uses the word cringe, but
it is
cringe, and the actors,
It made me feel ill.
The actors can't act. Well,
Okay, if Heartstopper is cringe to you, that's fine, because most of the time you're cringing at the fact that this is high school for you. Most of us cringe at high school in general. Trixie and Katya cringe at it too. I cringed at it because I was like, oh my god, there's so much sappiness. I cannot right now. But to say that actors can't act, I don't want to hear any judgment from acting after the shit I went through watching Summer I Turned Pretty, okay? That is the low. Why are... Excuse me. Sushi, you're embarrassing me right now.
And I hate the way they make so many jokes about Charlie who's like, oh, I'm too small for rugby, oh, I'm a bit small for rugby, like, yeah. Ah!
I don't really know what she said, so I'm gonna assume it's about Charlie saying he's not good enough for rugby. When you are, and this is not a joke about his eating, when you are built like this, yeah, rugby's a little intimidating. And take it from someone who did do sports. When you are surrounded by other people who are more athletic and buff and have more muscle than you, yeah, you get a little insecure about it. I'm so sorry that a high schooler is feeling high school emotion and is also going through an eating disorder, so their image of themselves is not really at a high.
half of the characters are not likable.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm bi, actually. Like, fine, say it a couple of times, tell your friends you're bi, but every single time is too much, Nick.
For someone who is queer to say that, it really irks me because you should know better. And I do hope that they know better now. I noticed it. So throughout the show, Nick probably says I'm bi actually maybe 10 times, because every other time someone is saying, oh, so you're gay then? Oh, so you like sucking dick and cock then only? And no, he has to correct them by saying I'm bi actually, because he is. And yeah, he has to do that in real life as well probably, because people erase bisexuality to other things. It's always, if you're a girl, you're just a lesbian, or you're just confused and like you need the right man or whatever they say. And then if you're a man, then you're gay. You're just hiding it by saying you're bi. Why is it that both lead to being attracted to a man? If you're a bisexual dude, you have to like guys. If you're a girl, you're just confused and you probably still only like guys. Both lead back to liking men because masculinity wants to be dominant, and masculinity is inherently intimidated by femininity. So why are y'all as queer people, and I say y'all as in like everyone right now, erasing bisexuals? The whole point of them saying I'm bi actually is to emphasize the fact that every time bisexuals don't get that representation, every single time someone will find a way to invalidate it by saying, oh, if you're a bi male and you're with a girl, you're not actually bisexual. Like any bisexual that is dating the opposite gender or another gender than themselves, suddenly they're not bisexual. And I know queer people do this too. In my opinion, if you cringe at the fact that someone has to reiterate their sexuality and defend it, justify it, you need to look inwards on why you don't like that. It's saying a lot about you and your reaction towards bisexuality.
I've read the books.
Why are we like this?
Yeah,
It's a
and the thing is, there are quotes that are really cool in the books, but they're just so overused and overworked. Like the hey, like it's just so overworked. Like you need to stop.
Yeah, somehow people are getting upset that they say hey because it's like their thing, even though that was in the comics. So when they're faithful to the comics, now you get upset. But you just know that if they didn't do that, you would also be upset.
If Charlie's eating, like, it's not in the film at all, TV show, and it should be.
Okay, so that's just wrong. I'm so sorry, bestie. They said Charlie's eating disorder is not in the show at all. It is mentioned probably 10 times. It starts off in episode 1 when he looks at an Oreo. And also, that's not a regular Oreo, is it? That's a UK Oreo. So I want to taste that now. I want to know the difference. That's just the first sip, okay? It's coming. In episode 2 or 3, Nick and Charlie are hanging out together, and Nick says, do you want to eat food? They're at his place, by the way. And Charlie goes, no, I'll eat at home. And then when he gets home, he tells his parents, I already ate. You couldn't see that? He is never eating in front of Nick. Even Nick notices he's not eating. So I don't know how people think there's not the eating disorder when they literally do a whole episode where they cry in each other's arms about the eating disorder. Like Nick specifically says, if something is wrong, because I know something's wrong, you can trust me. And they hug it out. If you think the eating disorder is not as apparent, that's on you for not being able to read between the lines and see their acting. Maybe you're just busy cringing at their bad acting. But don't be someone who tries to find the things wrong with the show just because you already went into it wanting to hate it. Everyone will be biased, just don't be that biased. So some opinions I have about the show. Number 1, I needed more episodes. I don't blame them, I just blame Netflix, honestly. I bet they went into it thinking this won't do that well. They don't need another episode, and look what it did. It did better. I'm glad they got renewed for season 3. I don't really believe the environment that this is set up in. So we're in the UK, and also like every person that we see that is a main character-ish is queer, or really big ally, or something along the lines of that. Even the teachers are queer. Kind of a gag. I literally forgot. I don't know if this is called world building, but it just feels a little off when like everyone is so nice about their sexuality and open. It happened in season 1 as well when the lesbians, and yes, I will be addressing them as the lesbians. When they came out, there was a lot of comments on their page, and some of it happened in person as well, but you never see that side. Like it just happens and then it continues on. I just need answers. Is 90% of this high school actually queer, but then somehow the rest of the school is just not accepting? Also, for people to say that there is no queer trauma, there literally is. It happened in season 1 and season 2 with, I don't want to even give him screen time, but it's Nick's brother, and I really wish he got kicked in the face. Just saying. Also, another person, Ben, stop trying to forgive him. I'm tired of seeing people on Twitter saying like he must be forgiven, like why are they being so mean to him? He wasn't a good person.
You know, if you're trying to keep it quiet, you should probably stop acting so gay. I see you're still as desperate as ever. It's not my fault he liked me before you.
Some writer initials on it.
You joking? It's so lame. I haven't spoken to you properly in ages. How's your first day in Paris? Why are you in the mood with me?
I don't know why you're obsessed with Charlie.
I don't want to go with Nick Nelson.
I don't give a rat's ass, rude boy.
I'll just say that. And yeah, he's in high school, but that doesn't mean you should forgive him. Like if someone did that to you in high school, I don't think you would forgive him. Stop trying to have him be accepted in the friend group just because he's attractive to you, because everyone wants to forgive people they're attracted to. In my mind, okay, I haven't finished the comics, but I would prefer when Ben left at the end of season 2, if he just left forever. And then he comes back in maybe season 4 or end of season 3, and you see him with a guy. No voice lines, okay? Maybe Charlie just sees them like at lunch, across the sidewalk. And all Ben does is just look and like continue talking to his lover and they hold hands or something. Like that's all you need to know that his trauma has healed. Therefore, his storyline can play out. They don't need to be friends. Not everyone has to be likable. I don't want everyone to be likable. That's not the point of a show. I want people I can throw tomatoes at. Not tomatoes, I prefer to eat those. Like, what's something I hate? Eggplants. I also really need more screen time for Isaac. The comics, I don't even think he is a character. I think he was changed with another character. But either way, this is him having more screen time than the comics, which is still a little bit upsetting for me because I don't think he talks until episode 2 or 3. He's in scenes in episode 1, he just doesn't verbally say anything until episode 2. And I just want more screen time for him because I feel like his storyline, his like moment was just kind of one episode and then moved on. I do like the fact that there is an asexual character because there's like none ever. A random note, the soundtrack, it was already good in season 1, but how dare they? How dare you put 7 by Taylor Swift in there? I don't even, if you don't know the meaning of the song, please go into depth. It's about someone who's closeted. At least it alludes to it and it's from folklore. But how dare you? Like, I just, no, I was just not ready. Like, it came out of nowhere. Also, like the ending, the fact that Nick was about to say, I love you. It's fine, I'll just wait a whole other year, I guess. Maybe longer because of the writer's strike. Another thing about the world building, I don't know if that's the word. I know that in the comics, they allude to Charlie's past and the way he was bullied and the things that he did prior to meeting Nick and even season 1. But I need to see it. Like, you can't just say it. I'm not omniscient, but Nick and everyone else knows Charlie's past. But we don't. Even if it's just a glimpse or like one flashback of what actually happened before season 1 when Charlie was initially outed, the lowest of the low for him, if we just had a little snippet of that, it would help more people understand why he is the way he is in season 2, because he doesn't believe he deserves Nick at all. He doesn't believe he deserves any of the love he gets. But a lot of people, even I, was like, but why? Why don't you believe that? Because you don't see his past. It'll also help explain the other bitches in the school who are just assholes about their sexuality. I also want to give a quick shout out to a queer-owned skincare brand. They did a collab with Heartstopper, so I want to unbox it. We got their toner. It's the normal packaging inside, but the outside is cute. This is their moisturizer, and it's cute. Their cleanser. Look at it! It comes with a random card. I got Tao, and it has his pronouns on there. Also, y'all will ignore the one nail that chipped off here. There is a gay panic magnet, and it wouldn't be a queer box without pimple patches and stickers. So I just want to say thank you to Goodlight for sending me the box. Thank you Heartstopper for sending me a code to watch the show early. That's right, I couldn't even tell y'all. I've never received a code to watch something on Netflix early. I didn't even know that was possible. I feel very special. Final thing I want to touch on is the biggest one. Fetishization. One of my favorite words. Hate pronouncing it though. I'm gonna need y'all to stop sexualizing these teens. Okay, they're like 16. Do what you will with the actors, I don't care. It's just side-eye a little. I still want to know, what is it with straight cis women wanting to fetishize gay men or just two men together? They did it with Red, White, and Royal Blue. If you want a review of that, I will do it. And they also do it with Nick and Charlie. I want to say it's because they relate more to the femininity and they like to see that men can embrace it more, but yeah, they're teenagers, like back off. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I have for today. Let me know what other things you want me to review. Their cinema is back, baby. So many things have come out lately and I've already watched all of them, even unfortunately Summer I Turned Pretty. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, maybe subscribe if you feel like it. Turn on the bell notification because YouTube doesn't like to send notifications. Follow me on here, they all exist. I will be going back to streaming in a month or so. Thank you for being patient with me. Minecraft videos will be coming back as well. Art videos are coming back as well, I can promise you that. And as always, I love you all and everything is less than 3. If you're wondering where the shirt's from, I'm not telling you for now.